You've won by 2-1, 7 points from 3 games. But what about your performance today? Were you disappointed with that?
I think, to be honest, Nick, I think really, if anything, I should look after the players today. It's easy, as I said, I had to go with them last Saturday. I've actually not. I didn't think they give me enough in terms of commitment and one thing and another. The first 15 minutes today, it seemed like a pre-season friendly, and then it seemed extremely easy to be in possession. We never looked up under any threat. All of a sudden, we've conceded a goal, and then it's hard to switch it back on. In possession, I will 100% say we were nowhere near good enough, but we did work extremely hard and we tried to do the right things. Now people say, well, today the ball went forward quite early, especially in the second half, and that was purely because circumstances dictate. They've got one up front, we've got the midfield's crowded, you can't get on the ball, and if you still go back to the first 15 minutes, I thought there was gaps in their back four all over the place. I could stand here and probably name 6 or 7 players who possibly weren't at the races, or certainly weren't winning enough second ball and weren't competing, but they were working extremely hard. They just seem to be short of it. Again, I have gone into the fixture, which is no disrespect to Gloucester, no disrespect to Solihull, well, we've got 2 games over this period. There probably would have been players who started today people didn't expect to start. Adam Farrell was always going to start, and I think he took his goal great, which is a great bonus. He had another chance later on. You look at Mike Fenix, again, people forget, them two just learning this level. They've stepped up, he stepped up from the Evo stick 1, and at times in possession today was poor, and there could have been lots of times I could have took him off, and you've left him on, and the ball across to win you the game. Again, Clance should have started the game today, but again, Matty needs match time, and it was abundantly clear that Matty needs match time because, he was at fault for the goal, he removes a mistake, give away a needless throw when we're in possession, and then we've conceded. But he looked lethargic, he looked leggy, so, you say to Clance, well, fitness-wise, it's Sean, he's fabulous, so it's never going to be an issue to that. So as soon as Lever was coming off, Matty was coming off, knowing we had to punt the left back on Monday. So, as you said, if someone had offered us 7 points in the first 3 games, you'd have snapped their hands off. And that's the way I am. Whether the performance, I said on last Saturday at home, I'll apologise, in terms of I don't think what we did was good enough. I'm not going to apologise today because you don't come away to anyone at any league and think, oh, it's a walk in the park. And if you've got 3 points, you should take them and be grateful that you've got 3 points. And if you took our chances, the one thing we'll add up, can't recall Brian Young having a save.
Especially pleasing for Adam Farrell to get that goal. He did take it well, but it was a super ball from Russell Benjamin as well, wasn't it?
It's probably like one of the only fluent things he's done. To me, I was saying that out of all the signings who come in the summer, Adam Farrell was the one I was desperately wanted. I think he probably, whether he had the self-confidence that we were bringing him in to actually be a main forward, I don't know. But if you look at his all-round game, a young lad stepping up, not only he took his goal great, but he nearly, right at the end, he couldn't have done much else. His touch was great. Took it, killed the centre half with his touch, tried to finish it, passed it into the net, and to be fair, he keeps a great save. There's an awful lot more to come from him. And people turn around and say, about playing football. If you look, there's not many players over here who aren't technically footballers. I said, and it sums it up. The last 15 minutes, Boothie come on, got on the ball. And when you actually want to play, you've got to do stuff early, and that means when it's coming into you, pop it off as soon as, not hold it until you lose possession. And it just goes to show you don't have to be big and strong. You've got to be clever, you've got to be bright, and you've got to look after it. And if the front two do hold it, it all of a sudden makes everyone else want to play.
Is the test for some of your youngsters, Fenix and Farrell, to deal with that high expectation which they'll get here at Telford?
Well, I've just said to them in the change room, the lads who are stepping up, when you say, Mike Fenix, Farrell, Martin Jackson hasn't had a go yet, but people like that's you've got to give them a little bit of settling in period. Sean Cook's another one who's got to come into that. But then the ones who are coming down, if they haven't got the desire to get back, well, they're kidding themselves and they're kidding everyone else, and that'll be dictated by how they play. There's 1 or 2 incidents there where I've looked at people and thought, does he desperate for this? And to me, like, a win away at anyone is a fabulous win. When I said to start the season unbeaten again, made up with that. So, The one thing I will say, I thought Neil Bernard doesn't end this game, you know.
I was going to say, you've had pretty much the perfect start, haven't you? When we bear in mind you've been to Boston, who will be there or thereabouts on Tuesday, but if we had given you this situation this time last week, you would have taken it.
Of course you would. I said, you know, it's football for you. You know, the two performances where we've won, we're nowhere near as good as the performance where we drew. You can't pick and choose where you get points, and a lot of it comes down to making a, you know, taking a chance. As I said, I think the ball from Mike Fenix was worthy of winning any game of football. You know, I don't know how you defend that. Well, it's in fact impossible to defend it. Clancy wouldn't have put it in, or their defender would have put it in. You know, it's just one of them taking the ball, take the keeper out of the equation by the pace on the ball. But you know, I look around. There's lots of smiling faces in the squad. We know we've got to play better, and I also know we've got to play more football. I said, but you know, you've got to earn the right to play football, and to do that, you've actually got to win. You know, the physical side of it firstly, which we had done, but then we stopped because, being honest, it seemed too easy.
Chris Lever, what's for your early assessment on his injury?
I think he's just got a bang on the knee or a little bit of a twist or something like that, but I wouldn't have thought he'd be fit for Monday. But obviously we've got another 60 odd minutes into Matty, so Matty just shift to left back, so no issues really.
And finally, hoping for a big crowd ahead of a local derby against Solihull Moors.
Yeah, you know, up until lads, someone going to watch them on Tuesday and all the stuff off, and it was really positive. You know, I know they beat Guiseley, didn't they, 3-0 away from home in the first day of the season, so as you've seen from every single game we've had up to now, there's no easy games. It's you know, the one thing that you've got to do, you've got to learn how to win a football match. You know, you've got to learn how to win a game when you don't play well. You know, you've always got to learn how to win a football game when you do play well, because you've got to take your chances. But on the flip side, when you're not playing well, sometimes you've got to pay percentages and hope you get a break or hope a set play go in. And as I said, we've probably learned that a lot more in the conference. You know, Telford would have been the same boat as, you know, in the years gone by. You know, but one thing you turn around, you say to the fans, you say to the players, you say to everyone, you know what, when you win a game, just enjoy it.
Well done today.
Thank you.